नहीं कर सकते क्या? Bak sağa bak.
One of the great 7-1.
रख लिया
The gate from where we came in for the Friday piece of the black onyx, and our beautifully placed about 10 meter deep into the white marble. So basically this process is called Pachi Kari. Pachi Kari, that's where the people, they grind each and every petal of the stone, then they make the cavity. That process that will make the cavity is called Gharaya. And then they use the glue to place the James spoon in white marble. So now when we done, please come all of you here. Please come everybody here. I don't know how many of you got the already been here. There are several optical illusions out there in the Taj Mahal. So I have a question. When you look through the main entrance, that white marble building, that is the Taj Mahal. So just guess how many meters is the distance from the main entrance to the Taj? 300. Okay. 300 meters. 300? You call 1,400, it will be 1,000.
Zach, it's far. It's not so close.
Yes. Again, maybe his wife. The first that you said is the 500 meters. The distance is exactly the half kilometer, but it looks very close from here. Now we go.
It's a bit of a walk.
नहीं अभी नहीं होगा दिसंबर में लाइट अंदर लेंगे अंदर अंदर चलो हाँ ले लेंगे
Like now we are all so crowded. Take pictures.
पूरा पूरा कैप्चर कर रहे हो क्या तुम वीडियो वगैरह? नहीं नहीं भाई
Стойте, стойте. Actually, the garden that you see where we are right now, it's supposed to be one of the most beautiful gardens of India. But actually, what happened after the downfall of the Mughal dynasty, when Agra was invaded 3 times, first by the Jat ruler, second Marathas, and third time by the British. But actually, when the Jat ruler came in this part, it was the frustrations against these Muslim rulers. So they used this garden for the cattle. So it was ruined by the cattle, and the present form of the garden is from the time of the British. If you look at all these water channels, there is a lot of fountains are designed, and all these fountains were built in the 17th century. Just imagine in the 17th century when there was no any electricity, then how they might have operated. So in those days, nowadays it's all working with the electricity, with the pumping. And if you look at on the both sides, we have these two another identical building is called Nakkar Khana. That's where when the sometime the people, the royal family, they used to enter. All the drummers, they started to play the drum. But now both of them, one of them permanently closed. The another part, the department open also is a kind of like archaeological museum, but it's not something very new. Now we talk about the Taj Mahal. Actually the Taj, as I mentioned earlier, the actual name of the building was Rosa-e Mumtaz Mahal, but now it is called Taj Mahal. Actually, Rosa is like a tomb, and Mumtaz Mahal, the tomb of the queen, the tomb of Mumtaz. But now it is called Taj Mahal. Even this word, the Taj, is also justifying with the name of this structure. Taj means is a crown, and Mahal is a palace. If you look at the shape of that building, that designed like a feminine crown. And that's why the monument has got a bit of feminine touch. So that's where the Mumtaz Mahal, the Shah Jahan's second wife, is buried. Actually, the Mumtaz, whose actual name was Arjuman Bano Begum, she was born in 1593 and she was Persian by blood. Actually, when she grew up at the age of 19, she attracted the prince, and that it is said that they fall in love. So it was the first at the sight. And at the age of 19, the Shah Jahan got married with her. And the Shah Jahan gave her a title called Mumtaz Mahal. But unfortunately, the king and queen, they lived only 20 years together. But in that period of 20 years, she brought the 14 children into the world. And out of the 14, only 6 of them they could survive, 2 daughters and 4 sons. But the elder daughter, she was murid to Hazrat Nizamuddin Chishti Rahmatullah Alayh. So even when she lived here until the Shah Jahan died, and after the death of his father, that was his idea, because the Aurangzeb was not in Agra, he was in an Aurangabad. So that's why the Jahanara, she brought the dead body of his father and decided to bury it next to her mother. That's how the king and queen both are buried. But this was the third burial place for the queen, because the Mumtaz, she did not die in Agra. She died in a place called Burhanpur, which is about the 900 kilometer far from here. But now the question comes, when Agra was the home and it was the capital of the king, then what she was doing so far away from here? Actually, since the Shah Jahan and the Mumtaz, they got married, whenever the Shah Jahan used to go for the campaigning against the enemy, she used to go along with him. So in 1631, when the Mumtaz Mahal was pregnant, Shah Jahan had to go to suppress the rebellion against the Khan Jahan Lodi in Burhanpur, and she went along with him. It was the month of the June, which actually considered as the hottest month in India, when the queen gave birth to their 14th child, fell seriously ill. All the effort was done by the king to save the life of a queen. But when the queen realized that there is no any possibility of surviving her, then she called her husband. When the Shah Jahan was sitting next to her deathbed, then there was a lot of appreciation was going on from the both sides. It is said that before she took her last breath, she also requested, I know that how much you love me, but I would like to request you that you should not marry again and should take the rest of her children that she was leaving behind, because she was not sure that how the new stepmother is going to treat her children. So it was typical like a mother's, the wish that she requested. And actually after these wishes, the Mumtaz died in Burhanpur. So she was completely buried over there. After the burial of the queen, when the king came back to Agra, actually the Shah Jahan, he could not bear the loss of his most beloved wife. He almost withdrew from all the pleasure and the leisure. The man who used to take part in the court activities, he also withdrew from. He was not showing any interest ruling the empire. He locked up himself in one of the palace which was used by his most beloved wife. But actually, one day he came to the court and he ordered to bring, the courtiers to bring a full sandalwood box. When that box was presented into the court, it is said that he ordered to fill that box with the gold and silver coin and gave them instruction that you carry this box from here to place where my wife is buried. If you need any poor or those who are badly in needed, you can keep distributing on the behalf of my queen. So once they arrived there, they taken out the remains kept in that box, was shipped to Agra. When they arrived in Agra, Taj Mahal was not yet started. So we have a place in the corner of the garden. So another times when she was brought, she was buried in the garden of the Taj. That place is still marked. When we will go there, then I'll show you. And then after that, the Shah Jahan had invited the most famous architect from all over the world. There was the thousands of the application were put in front of the king. But the most beautiful model, which was presented by Ustad Isa Khan Effendi from Turkey, was finalized, and then he laid the foundation of the Taj Mahal in 1631, and it was completed in 1653. So after that, they removed the remains of the queen permanently to the Taj Mahal. So the Taj Mahal was built as a final resting place for her. Now, please. Materials, which is a white red sandstone and the bricks. Even if you look at the dome, it's a double dome. The dome what we see from outside is the outside. Bigger and the structure looks to be so expensive. Everything in a proportion. So without applying the double dome, it was not possible. And these towers are leaning out over. Yeah. Actually, all these towers, the height of each minaret is 41.5 meters. There are the 19 tower steps at the bottom. When we look at them, it looks like they're straight. But none of them are. Actually, it was intentionally designed not straight. Because if they would have built it straight, in case of earthquake, there is a possibility that they would have fallen in. If they would have fallen in, they could damage the structure. But when they are leaning out, obviously they will fall out the structure within it. Now, even if you look right on top of the dome, there is a pinnacle. Actually, the sum of the part of the pinnacle was also made. But the impact during the time of actually the biggest will be actually divided into the first one when there were so many Mughal princes they were ruling indirectly, but all these Mughal princes they were just the rubber hand in the hands of the East India Company. In 1802, Lord Cusick, who was the chief security officer of the Taj Mahal, he got the instruction that he should bring it down, that now the ship will land and be replaced with it. So now we just have a brass. So we all are here? Shall I?
Çok acayip gerçekten. Gerçekten böyle yerlere gittiğimizde tam farklı hissettiriyor insana. Sanki başkası canım gibi. Şimdi biz bunlardan bir şey mi yapacağız? Evet.
तुम स्ट्रक्चर का मत लो भाई ये ना थोड़ा सा साइड निकल जाएगा आगे कर ले फैमिली के साथ चल कैसे करेंगे इंसान हुआ
Çalışıyor. Abi
ऑप्शन नहीं है ना भाई
Excuse me, please. Nadir. Nadir. Nadir.
पायात घालायचं.
आवाज निकालो कितना लोग हाँ जी बोलो हाँ निकालो
ये इकडे येऊन घाला. इकडे येऊन घाला.
बामन बड़े
क्यू फॉर 250 टिकट 10 लोग आगे तो बढ़ो
ये आपके साथ है ना प्लीज गो थ्रू इंडियन will go through the side please
इंशाल्लाह मैं भी
आप निकालो अरे और कहाँ गया इंडिया cover
जल्दी से
कैसे लो अब लो बचाओ लेडीज से बचाइए लोग आपको नहीं पता है स्पॉट जब खड़े हुए तो नहीं हो पाता। अच्छा है वो जिम्बल तो अचानक कभी हट जाता नहीं तो ऐसे घूमता है वो।
Oh my God. This is fun. Go now, like this. Somebody go. You see the main
आगे
Oh, sorry. Didi, come.
good idea.
Why the this one is like
Dad was telling about the speak of the Prophet. He put the
because they were making it and it was
kept on collapsing.
kept on collapsing.
The only thing they didn't well is charge the stairs.
Not here, Shaykh. Wrong time.
Neighbor heaven, तो क्या?
भारत समर्पित
थोड़ा साइड करो, साइड देख लो। नहीं करा
Sophie.
Photography is probably not video. Right.
तो हिडन लेना हिडन से वीडियोग्राफी लिखा नहीं
Within 7 बोलते यकीन पत्ता
Now, when you look at all these inscriptions, that each of these letters is beautifully cut out in one single piece of the black onyx. And each of these letters, each of these petals was cut and given a shape with a small size of ambry powder wheel. These stone cutters, they use in the tips of the three finger of the left hand, and with the right hand, they, with the help of the wooden stick, with the help of the leather bell, they rotate these wheels and shape each and every pattern one by one. Now when you look at here, these were the designs of the rugs like a carpet that was used in the royal palaces. The border surrounding is decorated with the gems. Now you can imagine, this is all used to be in one single block of the marble. There is a lot of places in the world where the people, they use the marble for flooring, for kitchen, like normally in Europe, they do import that marble from Italy. It's called Carrara. There is a lot of marble in Vietnam and in Australia. But all these marble, they are beautiful. But actually, all these marbles are the porous material. When you drop something like a tea, oil, or anything, it does stain. Shah Jahan was very much aware about the three extreme changing climate weather. So that's why he had chosen the marble from India. The city is called Makrana. So in Hindi, we call this stone as a Makrana stone because the Makrana or the Indian white marble which is applied here is one of the most hardest marble in the world. The hardness of this Indian white marble, we compare with the diamond, and the hardness of the diamond is 10 point, and the hardness of this white marble is 6 point. So you can imagine that how hard it is. That's why to make the cavity to carve out, the normal chisel cannot apply, and that's why they had applied the diamond chisel to chisel out all that pattern. But when you look at here the border, where all these stones which has been cut, given a shape, and then they are beautifully placed in marble. When you're doing by hand, it is almost impossible to make exactly the replica. But these artisans, they were the master in their own field. And then if you look at all these marble slabs, and look at all these beautiful flowers in the plant, it really looks like these plants which has been fixed on the top of the marble. But everything what you see is beautifully chiseled out in marble. The red one is the coral. Here all these stones, they are hardly about 3.5 millimeters. So when the depth is 3.5 millimeters, when these artisans they get all these rocks, these material, they need to cut and make the chips out of that, and the chip should not be more than 2 mm in thickness. When it is 2 mm, they break it into small pieces, holding the tips of the finger, then they rotate and they shape each and every petal. Then after shaping that, then they make the cavity and then they beautifully chisel out in marble. Actually, in entire building, there is a lot of gemstone. But why the king has decorated only with the gems? Because if he would have gone with the drawing with the painting, I think the painting was not going to last that long. That's why he had applied only the gemstone, because he has requested the artisan that he wanted to have that kind of the monument, that whenever he comes to visit the Taj Mahal, it should provide a different look. So when you come to see the Taj Mahal early in the morning, there are so many stones, but only the carnelian, mother of pearl, agate, these are the only stones. When you put the light goes through it. So when you come early in the morning, like Taj Mahal in a sunrise, Taj Mahal in full moon, when the moonlight hit these buildings, then all the gemstones, they started to sparkle. And then it really appeared like the Taj Mahal is decorated with the millions of the colorful diamonds. Now when we going inside, please, photography is not allowed. We are just going to visit only to duplicate flag.
वीडियोग्राफी
मोबाइल छुपा दो
फोटोग्राफी
मोबाइल ले ले छुपा दो
और वीडियोग्राफी
नीचे रखो
Can I just prison?
So smooth, so gentle. Now, for example, this is almost like food in the house. Now, especially in the summer, when the temperature goes about 47 degrees, in winter, when the temperature goes down to the 0 degree, during the rainy season, we have also the heavy rainfall. But all these kinds of the different kinds of the weather. But of course, there is the one thing, because it's a UNESCO site, and UNESCO is very much concerned, because when the British they came in power, that causes water pollution. And the pollution was really bad. So that's why in 2014, they made the base of it, they covered on the top of the structure. It has the ability to take in all the dust. So the whole building is already had been cleaned, only the dome. Because when they put the scaffolding for the restoration work, then suddenly the corona stopped all the landscape. So that's why you will see there is a bit different in the main building and also the dome, which is not done. And on the top of the dome, there is a pinnacle. And especially if you look at the top of the dome, it is also beautifully placed with inverted lotus flowers. And actually that's why there is a lot of people, they say in India that it was the temple of one of the gods.
The Multani method, which is considered
Their own conspiracy.
There is another story that you might have heard.
We are in a multicultural place.
That you see there, that garden is called the Mehtab Bagh. Mehtab is a moon and a Bagh is a garden. So basically the garden that you see over there was also established, and that's where the royal family, the king, they used to go in the heat of the summer, which remains cooler. It was just like a recreation center only for the ladies, only for the royal family, where the common people, they were not allowed. But nowadays, that spot, that Mehtab Bagh is a very popular spot where the people, they go for the sunset viewpoint. Now look at on the both sides, we have two another identical building. That building, which is situated toward the west and also in the direction of Mecca. That's why that building was used as a mosque and is still practicing as a mosque. That one is a guest house, and it was just a nominal guest house. Nobody used to stay, or nobody used to live in that part.